Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back with more The Wealthy Monsters. Today, our next wealthy monster we're looking at is a man who is one of the richest in the world. His wealth exploded in 2024. Mark Zuckerberg. This is the world's billionaires. He's at number 4 for 2024. He wasn't on the list 2023 or 2022. The Bloomberg's billionaire index, 10 richest billionaires on Bloomberg Billionaires Index as of January 20th, 2025. Zuckerberg is at number 3. And Forbes real-time billionaire list, he's at number 4. So yeah, he's a major player. We've went over 2 of the big dogs here. But yeah, Zuckerberg's another one of the major players when it comes to insanely stupid wealth. But yeah, let's go ahead and pull up some of who Zuckerberg is. He is the owner and CEO, head. I don't know if he necessarily owns it. He's the CEO of Meta Platforms. Chairman and CEO. And all of it starts from Facebook. That is where all this comes in. They have since rebranded as Meta. And here are some of the Meta platforms. You've got Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, Threads, WhatsApp, pretty popular worldwide. And then you've got some that are just there. MetaQuest, Horizon Worlds, Ray-Ban Meta, Mapillary, and Workplace. They used to have Portal and Diem. So yeah. They are making, as of 2023, $134.9 billion. Meta is, but yeah. Now, let's find out a little bit about Zuckerberg himself. He was 19-year-old when he started Facebook in 2004 for students to match names with photos of classmates. I believe it was Harvard where he was at that point. Zuckerberg took Facebook public in 2012, 8 years later. So it went from just a little university matching app to something so big it became a public company in 8 years. He now owns about 13% of the company's stock. Facebook would change its name to Meta. The main company that is parent company is now Meta in 2021 to shift the company's focus to the metaverse. in 2015, Zuckerberg and his wife, Priscilla Chan, pledged to give away 99% of their Meta stake over their lifetimes. So, yeah. I don't care about your little video. Close. Wealth history. 2015, he was just at 33.4 billion. It's enough money for people to have over their lifetime and have excess of insane amounts. He goes up, up, up a little bit each year. 2019, he suffers a bit of a drop from 71 to 62.3. Still bigger than 2017, so yeah. A little bit more of a drop to 54.7. So then he kind of falls to a low point. Although it's still more than he had 2015. 2016. So yeah. Then there's a jump. $97 billion when they changed from Facebook to Meta. Drop a little bit more, and then they kind of scoot it down. And then this last year, he achieved $177 billion. A stupid amount of money. It's a stupid amount of money over here. But now he is 40, lives in Palo Alto, California. Like, yeah, Harvard University, but he did drop out to make Facebook into something more. So that's a look by Forbes. Let's dig into Wikipedia's look at him. He was born May the 14th, 1984, in White Plains, New York. Mark Elliott Zuckerberg. Let's see. He was born to a psychiatrist and dentist. Had 3 sisters. Their great-grandparents were immigrants from Austria, Germany, and Poland. So probably fleeing the Holocaust. Because if he was born in 84, that means his parents were born approximately in the 1960s. Grandparents approximately in the 1940s. And thus, great-grandparents, yeah, were probably in their 20s, and they were like, we have got to get out. Because they would have been born in the 1920s, approximately. Given that most people usually get together, have a family, and kids in their 20s. So usually you can count back every 20 years if you want to kind of track people. Sometimes it'll be off because some people do have kids later in life. Some actually have them earlier, unfortunately. Attended Ardsley High School. public high school, and before transferring to Phillips Exeter Academy College Prep, America's sixth oldest boarding school that was established in 1781, and captain of the fencing team. So yeah, very early on, you can see he was giving every opportunity. Many people wouldn't have this, so yeah. Zuckerberg learned computer programming in his childhood, and at the age of 11, he created ZuckNet, a program that allowed computers at the family home and his father's dental office to communicate with each other. So it's not that he isn't intelligent. It's clear that he is. But he's also had advantages a lot of people wouldn't have. During high school, worked to build a music player called the Synapse Media Player. The device used machine learning to learn the user's listening habits, which was posted to Slashdot and received a rating of 3 out of 5 from PC Magazine. See, if he creates Facebook at 19, 2004. So yeah, at this point, if he's still in high school, internet's in its early days. But he's clearly well into that area of information and stuff. The New Yorker once said of Zuckerberg, "Some kids played computer games. Mark created them." While still in high school, he attended Mercy College, taking a graduate computer course on Thursday evenings. So yeah, taking a college course in the evenings while he was still in high school. I can at least give him some credit. Zuckerberg began classes at Harvard in 2002 and had already achieved a reputation as a programming prodigy. He studied psychology and computer science, resided in Kirkland House, and belonged to Alpha Epsilon Pi. In his second year, he wrote a program that he called Course Match, which allowed users to make class selection decisions based on the choices of other students to help them form study groups. And later, he created a different program he initially called Face Mash that let students select the best looking person from a choice of photos. And I get the feeling that's where we start Facebook. Yeah, we had books called Facebooks, which included the names and pictures of everyone who lived in the student dorms. At first, he built a site and placed 2 pictures or pictures of 2 males and 2 females. Visitors to the site had to choose who was hotter. So, you know, he's intelligent and a nerd, but he's also just a horny dude. Who's hotter? Yeah. It went up over a weekend, but by Monday morning, the college shut it down because its popularity had overwhelmed one of Harvard's network switches. preventing students from accessing the internet. In addition, many students complained that the photos were being used without permission. Zuckerberg apologized publicly, and the student paper ran articles stating that his site was completely improper. But of course, he would take that lesson and run with it. January 2004, he began writing code for a new website, and on February 4th would launch Facebook, February 4th, 2004. Or he called it, it was originally named The Facebook, and was located at thefacebook.com. And he had the site in cooperation with roommates Eduardo Saverin, Andrew McCollum, Dustin Moskovitz, and Chris Hughes. So yeah. Again, gotta give it to the guy. He's clearly intelligent, but he had advantages growing up that many people wouldn't have had, and he's got other intelligent people there to help him. Because remember, all these guys are in Harvard, so it's not like they're dum-dums like Musk. An earlier inspiration for Facebook may have come from the Phillips Exeter Academy, the prep school for which Zuckerberg graduated in 2002. It published its own student directory, the Photo Address Book, which students referred to as the Facebook. Such photo directories were an important part of the students' social experience at many private schools. With them, students are able to list attributes such as class years, friends, telephone numbers. 6 days after the site launched, 3 Harvard seniors, Cameron Winklevoss, Tyler Winklevoss, and Divya Narendra, accused Zuckerberg of intentionally misleading them into believing that he would help them build a social network called HarvardConnection.com when he was using their ideas to build a competing product. They complained to Harvard Crimson, the school newspaper, and it began an investigation in response. Zuckerberg tried to convince the editors not to run the story, but also broke into 2 of the editors' email accounts. So, yes, he's intelligent, but he's also got some serious serious ethics issues. Following the official launch of Facebook, Following the official launch of the Facebook social media platform, the 3 filed a lawsuit against Zuckerberg that resulted in a settlement. The agreed settlement was for 1.2 million Facebook shares and $20 million in cash. Zuckerberg's Facebook started off as just a Harvard thing until he decided to spread it to other schools. And this is where Facebook booms. Enlisting the help of roommate and co-founder Dustin Moskovitz. They began with Columbia University in New York, New York University in New York, Stanford University in California, Dartmouth College, I believe. I'm wanting to say it's New England, but I'm wanting to say it's New Hampshire. I could very well be wrong on that. Where are you at, Dartmouth? No, New Hampshire. Yep. Okay, so I was right on that. Cornell's in New York. Cornell University, University of Pennsylvania, of course. Pennsylvania. Brown University. I can't recall exactly where it is, but it's also New England. A lot of your Ivy Leagues are in that area of the country in New England. From Maine down to Pennsylvania. There's so many Ivies. I'm wanting to say Brown was in Connecticut. I very well could be wrong on this. Rhode Island, stayed over. Okay. And Yale University. Again, I know it's in New England. Harvard's easy. Cambridge, Massachusetts. Everybody goes Harvard, 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 Harvard. I think Yale actually is in Connecticut. Yeah, it's in Connecticut, New Haven. The only one that isn't a New England Ivy League, Stanford. It's California. Zuckerberg would drop out of Harvard in his sophomore year in order to complete the project. He and Moskowitz and other co-founders would move to Palo Alto, California, where they leased a small house that served as an office. Zuckerberg would meet Peter Thiel, who invested in his company. So, yeah. He got the right connections, everything. Let's pull up Meta Platform founders, Moskowitz, Savern, McCollum, and Hughes. So the same names we see in earlier that was mentioned. They helped found the company, but of course eventually they end up getting squeezed out or leaving on their own accord. Zuckerberg's the only one that would not give up power, and it's still there. And yeah, that's why it's kind of recognized as his baby, because he's still there. Let's see. Thing I really care about is the mission, making the world open. And we talked to former Netscape Chief Financial Officer Peter Curry regarding financing strategies for Facebook. Yeah. Before Facebook, there was MySpace. And he talks to Netscape because before there was Chrome, before there was Firefox, before there was Internet Explorer, the big dog when it came to browsers. Netscape. Netscape Navigator. I remember it. I've used it. So yeah. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Huh. Zuckerberg said that it was okay to break things to make them better. Facebook instituted hackathons held every 6 to 8 weeks where participants would have one night to conceive of and complete a project. I mean, brainstorms are fine, but I wouldn't call them hackathons. I would stick with the idea of practicing to break things to see how you can make your things better, see what you can do to make things stronger, more dependable. That should be a common action by companies. Ideas that you can build something really good in a night. Again, these brainstorming sessions, great, but I wouldn't call them a hackathon. For me, a hackathon is you have people trying to see if they can break the technology, if they can get into the technology. And so if they can, they'll show you what they did, how it was done, and they'll seek ways to close off those openings. So in 2007, only 3 years after taking Facebook public, he's already on MIT's reviews, MIT Technology Reviews TR35 list as one of the top 35 innovators in the world under the age of 35. Vanity Fair would name him #1 on its 2010 list of the top 100 most influential people of the information age. Zuckerberg ranked number 23 on the Vanity Fair 100 list in 2009. 2010, chosen as number 16 in the New Statesman's annual survey of the world's 50 most influential figures. In a 2011 interview with PBS shortly after the death of Steve Jobs, Zuckerberg said that Jobs had advised him on how to create a management team at Facebook that was focused on building as high quality and good things as you are. Let's see. "2012, he would meet with Russia, and so now he's taking things beyond just U.S. He's trying to go global. Facebook would have 9 million users in Russia, while its domestic clone, VK, had around 34 million in Russia. He would have his own Facebook profile hacked. In 2013. Let's see. They were close to registering 5 billion people in 2013. Like I said, it became insanely giant. He would meet with other major players in other countries. 2017 gives Harvard's 366th commencement day commencement speech. And receive an honorary degree. Remember, he dropped out of Harvard. 13, more than that. 15 years ago or something, was 2002 I think it said it was, when he decided to drop out or something. 2019. He laid plans to integrate an end-to-end encrypted system for the 3 major social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, all of which are now under the Meta umbrella. Facebook integrated the chat systems for Instagram and Messenger on both iOS and Android devices. The update encouraged mass communication between Instagram and Facebook users. Other projects, so other things he's done: legal trouble. One of the first things is while he was still in Harvard and creating, I think it was the Facebook, he was supposed to be helping these guys apparently to create HarvardConnection.com, later called ConnectU. Suit was filed in 2004 but dismissed on a technicality 3 years later. It would be soon thereafter refiled. Facebook would countersue. 2008, the case settled and Facebook agreed to transfer over 1.2 million common shares of Facebook and paid $20 million in cash. So yeah. November 2007. Talking more about that. Let's see. Eduardo Savern. This is one of the guys who helped him found Facebook. He filed a lawsuit against Zuckerberg and Facebook, alleging that Zuckerberg had illegally spent Savern's money on personal expenses. Okay, this is one thing we are seeing. He seems to have a bit of an ethics issue. Lawsuit was settled out of court, and although terms of the settlement were sealed, The company affirmed Severin's title as co-founder of Facebook, and Severin agreed to stop talking to the press. Then there was a Pakistani criminal investigation in 2010. Then Pakistan Deputy Attorney General Muhammad Azhar Siddique launched a criminal investigation into Zuckerberg and Facebook co-founders Dustin Moskovitz and Chris Hughes after a Draw Muhammad contest was hosted on Facebook. I'm sure this is dealing with the Prophet Muhammad. When it comes to Islam, there's a lot of sensitivity to depicting the Prophet Muhammad in drawn images. Investigation also named the anonymous German woman who created the contest. Sadiq asked the country's police to contact Interpol to have Zuckerberg and the 3 others arrested for blasphemy. Facebook's website was temporarily blocked in Pakistan until Facebook removed the contest from the website. Sadiq also asked its UN representative to raise the issue with the UN General Assembly. Paul Seglia, owner of a wood pellet fuel company in Allegheny County, New York, filed a suit against Zuckerberg, claiming 84% ownership of Facebook and seeking monetary damages. This one, let's see what's going on, what happened, or what was proclaimed to have happened. According to Seglia, he and Zuckerberg signed a contract in 2003 that an initial fee of $1,000 entitled Seglia to a 50% owners to 50% of the website's revenue, as well as an additional 1% interest in the business per day after January 1st, 2004, until the website was completed. So Seglia is proclaiming that he provided funds for Facebook because, remember, it doesn't go public until 2004. Zuckerberg was developing other projects at the time, along with FaceMash and the predecessor to Facebook, but did not register the domain name The Facebook until January 1st, 2004. The Facebook management dismissed the lawsuit as completely frivolous. Facebook spokesman Barry Schnitt told a reporter that Seglia's counsel had unsuccessfully sought an out-of-court settlement. This one's a little harder to really say is or isn't, because when did he file it? 2010. So Facebook had been around for 6 years at that point. And in 2012, federal authorities arrested Seglia, charging him with mail-and-wire fraud and of tampering with, destroying and fabricating evidence in a scheme to defraud Facebook founder of billions of dollars. So that one's a little harder to really say that it was Zuckerberg's fault, because we honestly don't know, and it clearly, well, not clearly, potentially Seglia is not a good individual himself. Hawaiian land ownership. 2014, Zuckerberg purchased 700 acres of land on the Hawaiian island of Kauai. In January 2017, Zuckerberg filed 8 quiet title and partition lawsuits against hundreds of native Hawaiians to claim small tracts of land that they owned within his acreage. Zuckerberg responded to criticisms in a Facebook post stating that the lawsuits were a good faith effort to pay the partial owners of the land their fair share. Some people just want to live their lives on the land they've known. Many people have only known. It's their home, it's their heritage, and you're like, nah, I'll give you money. Some people don't care about money. There's a big pot of cash waiting for the Sioux Native Americans. But they said, we don't care about that. We want some of the Black Hills back. They are sacred to us. They are our home, our land. So yeah. When he learned that Hawaiian land ownership law differs from that of the other 49 states, he dropped the lawsuits. Stated that he regretted not taking the time to understand the process and its history before moving ahead. Yeah, that's just asshole behavior there. Testimony before U.S. Congress. Testified in 2018 before U.S. Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation regarding the usage of personal data by Facebook in relation to Facebook Cambridge Analytica data scandal. He called the whole affair a breach of trust between Alexander Kogan, Cambridge Analytica, and Facebook. He refused requests to appear to give evidence on a matter to the Parliamentary Committee in the UK. 2020, U.S. Senate Commerce Committee unanimously voted to issue subpoenas to the CEOs of 3 top tech firms, including Zuckerberg, Google's Sundar Pichai, and Twitter's Jack Dorsey. The subpoenas aim to force the CEOs to testify about the legal immunity the law affords tech platforms under Section 230 of the Communications Act. Republicans argued that the law unduly protected social media companies against allegations of anti-conservative censorship. Swear, Republicans are such whiners. In 2021, he testified before the House Energy and Commerce Committee regarding Facebook's role in the spread of misinformation and hate speech on the platform. And during the hearing, he was questioned about Facebook's handling of user data, his role in January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol building, and his and Facebook's efforts to combat misinformation and hate speech. Zuckerberg acknowledged that Facebook had a responsibility to address these issues and outlined the steps that the company is taking to improve its policies and practices. The hearing was part of a broader effort by Congress to hold tech companies accountable for their role in shaping public discourse and protecting user privacy. 2024, the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on child safety and social media platforms. Zuckerberg, along with tech CEOs, were questioned about their company's practices. During the hearing, he apologized to the families of children who were victims of online abuse and harm. Some of this is pretty standard boilerplate stuff. Yeah. And then some of it's whining by conservatives. But some of it's all things he needs to be held accountable for. Court documents allege that Zuckerberg personally rejected Meta's proposals to improve teenagers' mental health. He consistently opposed efforts to enhance well-being on Facebook and Instagram, overriding senior executives such as Instagram head Adam Mosseri and Global Affairs President Nick Clegg, as revealed in an ongoing lawsuit. Internal communications also disclosed in the Massachusetts-initiated legal action depict Zuckerberg's resistance to better protect over 30 million teens on Instagram in the U.S., highlighting his substantial influence on Meta's decisions impacting billions of users. These comments also shed light on occasional tensions between Zuckerberg and other Meta officials advocating for improved user well-being. So yeah, clearly, again, guy's intelligent, ethics, not that great. He's not a very ethical person. But again, we're in an age of a second gilded age. There's lots in corporations and big money and everything that are like, they don't give a damn about ethics. And I'm not surprised, because you see how rich they're getting. If you gave a single care, you would be like, I got to give away this money because people should not be suffering, and I gain so much. Depictions, donations, and Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. Politics. 2002, before Facebook was even public, he registered to vote in Westchester County, New York, where he grew up, but did not cast a ballot until November 2008. He was then a Santa Clara County registrar of voter spokeswoman Elma Rosas told Bloomberg that Zuckerberg is listed as no preference on voter rolls, and that he voted in at least 2 of the past 3 general elections in 2008 and 2012. So yeah, no preference, meaning he could vote Democrat or Republican, whichever one makes him more money. He never revealed his own political affiliation or voting history. Hosted his first ever fundraising event for then New Jersey Governor Chris Christie in 2013. His particular interest on that occasion was education reform, and Christie's education reform work focused on teachers' union and the expansion of charter schools. Honestly, many charter schools and private schools need to go. That. They should not exist, and they should by and far not be receiving public school funding. Later that year, 2013, he hosted a campaign fundraiser for then Mayor, Newark Mayor Cory Booker, who was at that point running for New Jersey's special Senate election. In 2013 as well, he led the launch of a 501c4 lobbying group called FWD.US. The founders and contributors to the group were primarily Silicon Valley entrepreneurs and investors, and its president was Joe Green, a close friend of Zuckerberg. The goals of the group were immigration reform, improving the state of education in the U.S., and enabling more technological breakthroughs that benefit the public. Yet, it has also been criticized for financing ads advocating a variety of oil and gas development initiatives, including drilling in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge and the Keystone XL pipeline. 'Let's see. So while he has been, for some, liberal things, or even progressive, he's also been very conservative, wanting more and more money. 2016, he sent out a company-wide internal memo to employees, formally rebuking them who had crossed out handwritten Black Lives Matter phrases on the company walls and had written, so he attacked those who crossed out Black Lives Matter phrases and wrote All Lives Matter in their place. In 2017 criticized Trump's executive order severely limiting immigrants and refugees from some countries. He also funded a state-level ballot initiative for the 2020 general election that would raise taxes by altering California's Proposition 13 to require the tax assessment of commercial and industrial properties in the state at market rate. What was Proposition 13? Amendment to the Constitution of California. Let's see, something about capping and limiting taxes on company and property assessments. Open this up right here. 78 California Proposition 13. People's Initiative to Limit Property Taxation. Amendment of the Constitution of California enacted during 1978 by means of the initiative process to cap property taxes and limit property reassessments to when the property changes ownership and to require a 2/3 majority for tax increases in the state legislature. The initiative was approved by California voters by nearly a 2-to-1 margin. It was upheld by the Supreme Court in 1992. So let's see. State level ballot initiative that would raise taxes, altering Proposition 13 to require the tax assessment of commercial and industrial properties in the state at market rate. Hmm. Threatens Zuckerberg with life in prison in his book, Save America. 2 months later, dined at Mar-a-Lago. And, of course, Meta donated $1 million to Trump. Well, a Trump-related fund for his campaign. You can clearly see he has moved. Yeah. Especially in his 20s, Zuckerberg had financially supported various progressive causes such as immigration reform and social justice. At least among Republicans, he was generally seen as pro-liberal. In August of 2024, letter to the House Judiciary Committee, however, Zuckerberg stated he regretted not doing more to resist pressure from the Biden administration to censor content related to COVID-19. He also noted he no longer intends to donate toward election infrastructure. Republicans had seen those contributions as non-neutral, labeling him Zuckerbucks. As of 2024, Zuckerberg has been discouraging employee activism at Facebook and, according to the New York Times, had privately described his politics as leaning towards libertarianism or classical liberalism. No, you're conservative. Admit what you are. Personal life, I don't really care. But yeah. Mark Zuckerberg, that's a good look at who this monster is. Again, another wealthy monster who is just wealthy as all get out. He's the youngest one of the top 5 by and far. He's number 3 in Bloomberg's Billionaire Index. And there he's 40. He's 40-year-old. He's number 3 in Bloomberg's Billionaire Index. He's number 4 according to Forbes' Real-Time Billionaires list. And according to the world's billionaires on Wikipedia, he is number 4. So yeah, they've got him there at 39, so clearly they haven't updated a lot of it. But yeah. He is the young dog in this group. All the rest of them are 50s or older. Let me look at some of the others here. Bloomberg's Billionaires Index. 50s or older. Yeah. So Zuckerberg kind of stands out among these others. So, given he had advantages but was highly intelligent, he made it take advantage of what opportunities he had. But he's also at times showed some very questionable ethics and ethical choices. So yeah. But that will be our look at Mark Zuckerberg for this episode of Wealthy Monsters. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting these links in the description box below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.